and welcome to episode 106 of Explode Your Expert Biz show, brought to you by gtex.org.uk. I'm your host, Simone Vincenzi, the Experts Strategist, and this is the podcast for experts who want to become the ultimate authority in their niche while making an impact in the world. Yes! This is a solo episode, which is a recording of our live show that we run every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time on my business Facebook page, Simone Vincenzi. There is a clickable link in the show notes where I share my point of view from the conversation that I have during the interviews with my guests. So last episode, it was episode 105, with the super Joe Pardo, and we talked about the fact that sales won't save your business, and talked about scalability and scalable process. So in this episode, I wanted to talk about how to scale your expert business beyond six figures. So I talk about how we are scaling GTeX past the 250K and the 300K mark, the three mindset shift that you must make in order to scale, and also what to outsource in your business and in what order for explosive growth. So these are the processes and all the things that we are going through right now, which is it's been a great show because I've been reflecting a lot in all the work that we're currently doing, what kind of team members we are hiring, what kind of processes we are changing, what kind of models we are focusing on, what are we stopping doing that we were doing before, and what are we doing more of that can give us better results. So you will have all that. You can find the links and the transcript in the show notes on our website at www.gtex.org.uk/episode dash 106. There are also all the resources that I mentioned on the episode, and before we start, I wanted to share with you the tool of the day. Every day I started, I don't know for how long I'm going to do this, but for the moment it sounds right, so I'm going to do it for a while. I want to share the tools that I use for my business. Now, there is another video editing app that I use. It's called Inshot. And the reason why I love Inshot, it is because, have you seen those kind of videos where there is the video in the middle and a black bar at the top and a black bar at the bottom, and they stand out so much on your newsfeed on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on the different social media platform? Perfect. Inshot has a feature that allows you to do that and much more. You can add audio, you can add GIFs, images, you can add music, you can chop and change and put together images and videos. Is brilliant. Is an app that I use a lot of times, in particular to add the top banner and the bottom banner with a catchy title, to get people to stop scrolling while they're scrolling down on their newsfeed, so then they stop and they look at my video. So the app is called Inshot. You can find it for iOS and also for Android. I absolutely recommend you to get it. There is a free version and a paid version. I've been always using the free version and never had a problem with that. So it's a great app to use. Now that we have shared the tool of the day, make sure that you download it. There is a clickable link here in the show notes. Then remember that if you want to make a six-figure presentation and become awesome at selling from the stage, this is something that we invite all our clients to do. Become great at selling from seminars and from webinars. It's like your ticket to financial freedom. And I've created the most comprehensive checklist to create a pitch that sells, but without using manipulative and sleazy techniques. So you can find the link here in the show notes as well. And also, if you find this journey, which is very lonely and isolating, you're an expert and spending your time also working by yourself, then it's great to connect with the other experts in your field in a vibrant community, which is our Facebook group, Explode Your Expert Biz. You can find it there in the show notes. There is the link, or you can find it on Facebook at Explode Your Expert Biz Facebook group. And also you will be able to connect with all our guests from the show. You will be able to ask them questions in advance, and also you can win a chance to be featured on our show every single week, which I'm really excited about. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any other episode. And if you like the work that we do, and if you love to support us, please leave us a review. Now, you know that iTunes looks at how many people subscribe and how many reviews do you have. So if you like what we do, there is only one thing that you can do for me. It will mean the world. Leave us a review. Let us know what you love the most about this show, and then subscribe to this show. And if you want to send me any recommendation, or if you want to ask me anything, you can reach out personally to me at simone@gtex.org.uk. That comes straight into my inbox. Now, without further ado, let's start the music and let's hear how to scale your expert business beyond 6 figures. Woohoo! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Explode Your Expert Biz show. Today is my solo episode of the Tuesday evening. We are live on our Facebook page, Simone Vincenzi, and I'm really excited about today's episode because I'm going to share how to scale past the 6 figures when you're running an expert business. When you're running a business which depends on your image, it depends on yourself, depends on your expertise. So how do you scale it up? How do you make that business bigger than yourself? Thank you very much for everyone who's joining live. Thank you, Daniel, for coming here. Yes, this room looks familiar. Absolutely, you have been here. So if you haven't shared this episode, if you haven't shared it here right now, make sure you share it and you subscribe to our podcast, because this episode is going to be mind-blowing. I'm going to share with you what we are doing behind the scene to grow the business, to scale the business, to scale GTeX. This is what I'm going to share with you today, what we are doing behind the scene, what is that we are working on, what are the things that work, what are the things that also you need to be aware of when you are scaling beyond the 6 figures, when you already are earning a good consistent income, you have been on 6 figure for a couple of years, and now it's time to take the next step, to go to the next level of the 6 figures. And you need to do different things. It's a different level of mindset. It's a different level of business that you're running. And the problem is that a lot of people, they are running the business as they're running in the early 5 figures when they scale up to the 6 figures, which means they just work more. And I fell into that trap. Unfortunately, I fell into the trap and it didn't work. So now we're doing something completely different. Thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you very much, Anna, for joining as well. Any question that you have about scalability, then let me know. Any question that you have right now that you're watching the live about how to scale it, how to grow it, then let me know, because I'm really happy to share also anything that we are working on as part of the show. So without further ado, let's start. Let's get started, right? What are we waiting for? There are a few things that you need to be aware of. There are 2 changes that you need to make to scale past the 6-figure mark and to scale beyond the 6-figure mark. One is a change of mindset, and the other one is a tactical change. And we're going to work in both the mindset and the tactical. Let's start from the mindset one, because you can have the best tactics, but if your mindset doesn't change, then all the best tactics are, let's say, completely useless, I gotta say. So let's start from the tactical part. Let's start from the mindset part, which is the most important. Now, the first mindset shift that you need to have is the fact that you cannot do everything on your own. And yes, I know you're telling me right now, oh, Simone, I've heard this before. A lot of people are telling me you cannot do it on your own, and this is not new information, but I'm not here to give you new information. I'm here just to give you a kick up in the arse and get it done, and making sure that actually you stop doing things on your own, because the more things you're doing by yourself, the slower you grow. This is really important. The more things you do by yourself, the slower you grow. There is a myth then if you do everything by yourself, you can go really fast, but then you arrive to a point where actually you are the one slowing yourself down. This is the problem. This is a problem that you can see. You are the one which is slowing yourself down. And you can't keep working in this way. because you need other people that are there to support you, that are here to help you out, that are there to work with you and for you to make sure that you reach your vision, to make sure that you are focusing only on the things that you are great at, on the things that you are incredibly awesome at. And that's the crucial part. That's the crucial part that you need to be aware of. Now, the other thing that you need to be aware of once you also go away and start thinking about not doing everything by yourself, the other mindset shift is that you need to slow down to speed up. Now, you arrive to a point where when you're working by yourself, it's easy to go fast. But then when you're hiring other people, you need to have a focus on systems and processes. And the creation of systems and processes and the review of systems and processes is 1, expensive, 2, time consuming, because you will need to spend resources and you will need to spend time in order to create those things, those processes, those systems that then are crucial. Now, we talked a lot about systems in episode number 105 with the interview with Super Joe Pardo. That's what inspired me to create this show today, talking about scalability and the things that we do behind the scene. And that for me was in particular the shift of not doing everything by myself, and the other shift of slowing down to speed up. They were two very difficult shifts that I had to make, and it wasn't easy to embrace them. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. And the reason why it wasn't easy, it is because I had this huge thing about doing everything myself. And in particular, I was conditioned to work for so long by myself that because I was working for so long by myself, then I lost contact of the fact that of working with a team. What does it really take to work in a team? And that was the problem. That was a big problem that I had to face. That was a big problem that I had to solve. Now, once you have this 2 mindset shift, then you need to go to a third mindset shift. And the third mindset shift, so the first one is don't do everything by yourself. The second one is slow down to speed up. And the third mindset shift is to constantly review. This is something that a lot of people may be already aware of, but the more the company grows, the more the mistakes will cost you. Now, at the beginning, you run a small company, and then a small mistake, it costs you £10 or you have nothing to lose. But then when you arrive to a certain point, then you can literally use £100,000 like this. It becomes easy. So you need to constantly review what's working. You need to constantly review what's not working, what to do more of. And you need to be even more focused. Because now your time, which is spent on creating processes and systems of all the things that you have been doing yourself, then is taken away from the time of the growth of the company. So if you focus even on too many projects during that period, then you are going to completely go off track, or you're going to become insane. In fact, I went down that road. And let me tell you, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time at all. Anna, for example, is saying, I agree, constantly reviewing what's working and what's not. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anna. I appreciate that. And thank you also, Michael, for joining. Any question that you have about scalability, please put them in, and I'm going to answer your questions. So these are the 3 main mindset shifts that you need to have. Now, once you have these 3 main mindset shifts, then we are talking about tactics. Now we are talking about the things that you can do to grow. Now, you want to start thinking first about what are the things that you want to outsource. And I did an incredible exercise with our mentor at the time when we hired him, which is Nick James. And he got us to do an exercise that I've heard many times, but I never done it properly. I never sat down and done it properly or took it seriously. And now this is something that we teach to all our clients for the impact that it had, which is to divide your activities into £10 activities, £100 activities, and £1,000 activities. Which means the £10 activities are the activities that will cost you £10 to outsource. The £100 activities are the activities that will cost you £100 an hour to outsource, so which means that a higher level of skill set is required. And then £1,000 activities are the one that actually only you should do, that stays in your zone of genius, that no one could do instead of you. So these are the things that the different activities. So first of all, you want to outsource all the £10 an hour activities. And by the time you reach six figure, you should have already outsourced them. So that's even before you scale past the six figures. By the time you reach six figures, you should have already outsourced all the activities that will cost you £10 an hour to outsource. All the video editing, the audio editing, the publishing of blog posts, booking appointments, reminding appointments, all that things, they need to be outsourced as soon as possible. These are the booking venues, if you are running events for speakers, sourcing venues, and so on. So these are all things that you could pay £10 an hour for someone to do it, and they will do it very well, and they will save you time for you to do more money in income generating activities. Because that's what you should be focusing on creating the income for the company, for the other things to be outsourced. Now, the other thing that needs to be outsourced when you're looking at £100 an hour activities, this is your delivery. Now, this is something that it was very difficult for me to let go of. Because, of course, in an expert business, your clients come to you. They connect with you. They want to know from you. They want to buy from you. And they want you as their coach, their mentor, as their accountant, as their trainer, as their speaker. They want you. So now you want to actually go into the process of detaching your delivery. Which means, because the more time you spend selling and more generating money, more generating income, then the more delivery you will have. So there are two things that you need to outsource. One is to create a highly scalable program, which means that a lot of your programs, instead of being one-to-one, they can be one-to-many. And the one-to-one become really, really expensive. So then it stops people to buy them. This is why the one-to-one program should be really, really expensive. Because at a certain point, just for you, once you reach past the six figure already, at the beginning, make them affordable so then people can join and you reach the six figures. Then you increase the price and you substitute your one-to-one with a higher end group program. And at the same time, you want to outsource also some of the one-to-one delivery. And this is where you will find other coaches that are great as you are, that can deliver incredible value to their client, to your client, to do the delivery for you. Because I remember, for example, in December, we had a cracking sales month. Oh my God, it was so good. We made a lot of money. And unfortunately, what happened in January, I spent all January delivering. So January, I didn't even meet my personal sales target because I was so busy delivering all the sales that I made in January. And they were all sales of one-to-one mentoring. Then I said, no, something here needs to change. So that's why we have increased the price of the one-to-one, and then we higher leverage, we brought coaches in and other business coaches in that we know they could deliver the same value that I would deliver because we train them. So they go through our courses, they go through our through our informations, and then we test them. So we know what's their ability to deliver. So there is a training program for them. And that's something crucial because now what you're doing, you're creating almost like your army of people that can set your time free. Now, they need to be very well trained, they need to be very well delivered, but remember, they are also very easy to find because it's very easy in this market to find other experts that don't know how to make money for themselves, and literally they will work for not much because that's the only income that they will receive. And on the other side, so you give them free income because they will have just to deliver. So you take away the cost of marketing, sales, the cost of business. You say, hey, here's the client, deliver it. And then you stay on top of how the delivery is going. Now, the other thing is that because you are giving them, you don't have a cost associated to it, then the price goes down. Now, the price of the sales goes up because now you're spending so much time and effort to get the client that the client needs to pay well because it needs to repay all the effort that you have made to go and get a client. But someone gives me a client like this and says, Simone, can you please deliver? I don't have all my costs of marketing and sales associated to it, of operations associated to it. So then I can reduce my price, and the same thing will do. And in particular in this industry, as I said, there are so many people that are incredibly skilled, but they lack the ability to generate income. And this is the point. They are incredibly skilled and lack the ability to generate income. And these are the people that you want to have in your team. Because you want to have someone who is incredibly skilled and want someone that then is loyal to you because then you giving them the work and then they deliver incredible service to your client and becomes a win-win on every single part. So outsourcing your delivery is one of the things that I would recommend. It's one of the first things to do. But now it needs to be outsourced well. So don't just give them to someone else that you have no clue of. So something that we are doing, all the people that are going through our business courses, we take the best and then they become our business coaches. But they've been through our courses first. They've done some mentoring with us. We have trained them. We have observed them. And then we let them go. But there is a process for it. So this is something that I want you to think about in terms of scaling your business past the 6 figures. The other thing that is really important when you're talking about scaling past the 6 figures and going to the second or third level of 6 figures and then scaling to 7, then is about partnerships. And that's something that I personally am not going to talk much about. The reason why, it is because I'm not great at building partnerships. I'm great at building friendship, but I've never focused so much on partnerships. So I know the theory beyond partnership, but I wouldn't feel comfortable to say I can teach you how to create effective partnerships because I've not done many of them, and I've done few, but also it's not been a huge focus. It's nothing that I cannot prove consistent results on it. So that's why I'm saying this is something you should focus on. I'm focusing on it right now. When I'm going to have some results and great results, then I'm going to share it with you. That's how I work. That's my policy. Gotta walk my talk. That's it. And then the other thing that is really important when you're talking about tactics for scalability, you want to master selling one-to-many. Now, at the beginning, you want to master selling one-to-one. Why? Because selling one-to-many is more difficult than selling one-to-one. And if you don't know how to sell one-to-one and to generate clients in conversations, very difficult you're going to generate clients from a webinar or a seminar because the dynamics are different. First of all, you need to know how to sell on steroids, right? So first of all, if you haven't reached the 6-figure mark yet, focus on selling one-to-one and becoming great at selling one-to-one. Once you reach the 6-figure mark as well, or at least 50K, then focus on selling from the stage. Focus on selling one-to-many, using webinars and using seminars. And they are awesome tools to convert and have incredible days like making £100,000 in a day. That doesn't become that difficult. We went very close to make £100,000 in one single day with 15 people in the room very recently. So it's very simple once you know how to do it. But then it's something that you really need to put your focus on. You need to really put your attention on, because that's how you're going to get a consistent flow of clients. That's how you get a consistent flow of income every single time. Because once you know that every single time you run a seminar or a webinar, no matter how many people there are, then some people are going to buy. Once you have that confidence, literally, there's nothing that can stop you. What do? You do more of it. And then the other part is to have a huge focus on operation. Huge focus on operation, making sure that your business becomes simple and the back end part is outsourced. That you have someone that can be an operational director that is brilliant at knowing all the different systems that you run, and they can run them for you. And for you to design great processes that are where you're able to leverage your time and your team's time as well. For example, something that we do now to create content is mainly video, because I hate writing. Now I'm going to start writing again and get into the habit of writing a long blog post a month, and that I'm going to personally write. But most of the time, I'm going to have a copywriter that listens to my videos or my podcast and is going to write a blog post. So that's a great way to leverage my time. I create written content by doing what I love the most, which is speaking on camera and creating video content or audio content like the podcast. So it's a great way to leverage your time. But on top of that, what I'm now starting doing is also to download and get all the transcriptions, a transcribed file of all my podcasts, which then creates written content to boost my ranking up on Google. So that's something that I'm going to do. And this comes only from doing my podcast. So mainly all my content will come from my podcast and my videos. And not much else. Why? Because otherwise can be very time consuming creating content all the time. And what happens is that a lot of people, they get sucked up in this create content, but they don't give them enough time to sell. My recommendation now is create less content, optimize it better so it feels like you're everywhere. There is a great guy that I think you should follow, which is called Scott Alford, and it talks about being omnipresent in your niche, being everywhere, where being on not just on one social media platform, but being on many social media platforms and being top of mind consistently. And I think is a great advice. Even before learning from him, is something that I was doing. Now he's doing it to an all new level. So it's something that someone that I would recommend you to learn from, and it's someone who's very fair, like it's someone who really walks his talk. That's why I'm recommending him. So I'm putting the link here in the episode, in the show notes. His name is called Scott Alford. Then another thing that you want to do once you're optimizing your content creation ways and your content creation methods, then another thing that is important, which is crucial, is to make sure that your programs and your offers are optimized for scale. So what does it mean? It means that you need your core program, your core offer, the things that people buy, that people buy from you, those programs, they need to be scalable. And we talked already about that briefly before, when in terms of creating a highly leveraged group program where you can mentor, coach, teach multiple people at the same time. In this way, you will be able to be in control of your time and the scheduled time that you're going to teach. So then you will not react consistently to those people that they want the coaching one-to-one from you. And then making your coaching one-to-one a premium. Now do that after you reach the 6 figures. Because otherwise, if you do that too soon, then you will struggle to get clients. But once you have a nice following, once you have a good mailing list, and then you have some people following you, that becomes easier to get people on a group program and to get people and to support people in that way. Is it making sense? I hope that making sense. We have Michael that says, finding a decent operation director is hard. Absolutely. Finding great people is not easy. But I think that also is up to the way you look at things. I believe that we attract what we want and what we put out. So if we think it's hard, it's going to become hard. If we have a good process and we believe that it's going to be easy, then we open the doors to attract the right person for us. So fortunately, in the people that I was able to attract so far in my team, I'm incredibly happy. Now, people are people, so we have all our strengths and weaknesses. But then I think that if you're open and if you're clear about the kind of person that you want to attract and you focus on that, then that person will come. Because first of all, you will know if it's the right person even before you hire that person. And I think that's where the scrutiny and interview process then comes in very handy. Which now leads to talking about interview processes. And talking about how do you hire people? How do you find the right people? How many people should you have in your team? What kind of categories of teams you need to have? Well, let's talk about the different kind of people now that you need to have on your team. Now, I'm loving this episode, guys. I think I'm dropping like so many value bombs here that a lot of people get only in paid programs that will cost thousands. I'm sure you can agree with that. So if you like it, please leave a review right now on our podcast. You know how much it means to me, and you know how much that can help. If you're watching live, please share it. It helps a lot to spread the word. That's the gift you can give me. Spread the word. Thank you. So now let's talk about the different people that you can have in your team. Well, first of all, the first kind of person that you need to have in your team is a virtual assistant. Now, every business owner should have a personal assistant. Okay, or virtual assistant. Can be in person or virtual. I prefer it virtual and outsource it to the Philippines. My virtual assistant name is Wang, and she is awesome. I would be lost without her. I always tell her, I would be lost without her. She manages my life. She manages my calendar. She makes sure that I get things done when I say that I'm gonna get things done. She makes sure that I stay on top of my commitments. And on top of that, she also ran many of the operations of GTeX. because that's what she's there for. Managing my calendar, managing my life, and running GTeX operation, which means building funnels, now building landing pages, making sure that the podcasts are updated, that the podcasts are edited. All this work that you are seeing doing, that the videos are edited as well. All this work that you're seeing doing is done by Wang. She is an incredible team member and is based in the Philippines. We never met in person, unfortunately, not yet. But we've been working together now, I think, for 4 years. And it's been incredible team member. So virtual assistant is someone that you want to have. Then someone that you want to have is a great accountant. And let me pause there. Is a great accountant. Now, yes, you can do the accounts yourself. Yes, you can have friends and family to do your account. Yes, you can do. You can have other bookkeepers that can do smaller tasks. But ultimately, you don't want to waste money in taxes because you work really hard for that money. So why wasting it? So you want someone that can help you run your business in a tax efficient way. You want someone that is able also to keep you accountable so you don't get fined, and that can file your tax return when it needs to be filed well in advance. So then you're not stressing last minute, that is helping you to keep everything up to date. Because otherwise it's all time that you're wasting. And something that is really important is to have a great accountant. Because you don't want to mess up with a tax man. That's the truth. Rather pay a bit more, unless you are an accountant yourself and you know what you're doing, or you have this deep desire to learn accountancy. And it's something that I'm actually learning at the moment in terms of like bird's eye view of business accounting, because it's something that I want to be able to be in control of. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to do it, right? So something you need to have a great accountant. Then another person that you need to have is someone to help you out with your marketing. Now it depends from your skills that you have. Look at yourself. Are you great at marketing? Are you great at sales? What are you great at? Because you want to outsource first the things that you're not great at. Once you outsource your accounting, then you look at outsourcing as well your part of your marketing. So don't run the Facebook ads yourself, unless you are a Facebook ads expert, or you want to become a Facebook ads expert, or you want to completely master Facebook ads. But ideally, have someone else who's running them for you. Then the other part that you want to outsource as well is your delivery. Your delivery is something that I resisted to do it and to outsource it for quite a long time. But then I gave up, and I have to say, my clients are happier, right? Which is a funny thing. My clients are happier than the one that I have outsourced, because I have, there's one person which is completely dedicated to help and support them. I still have my one-to-one clients, don't get me wrong, and I still love working with them. But I know as well that is not sustainable as a scalable strategy. So finding the right person actually will mean that someone can just be focused on taking care of your clients, making sure they get the results they want, making sure that they are happy, making sure that they can be upsold to as well if when it's time for renewal and there is another program that they can enroll in. So there is all these things that is really crucial, or the product that needs to be sold. There's something crucial that you can put in place, and then you can start outsourcing your marketing and your sales as well. Now, outsourcing your sales, I think, is based on experience. So this is my personal experience. Again, don't take it on your own. My personal experience has been one of the most difficult things, because I'm awesome at selling. So because I'm so great at selling, then it is my main skill. That's what I'm great at. That's what I teach. That's why I'm great at conversion. Someone talks to me, they buy. That's what happens. Someone talks to me, very likely they buy. Or we find a way to work together. I'm great at negotiating. I'm always looking for a win-win, and I don't give up until we find that win-win. That's something that I grew into while running a business, and finding someone with the same drive, determination, and skills at the same time, and persistence, was not the easiest thing. Now, we found that this person is doing an incredible job, which I'm incredibly happy right now. But I have to say, is that as skilled as me yet? No, it's not. Is he doing an incredible job? Absolutely. Is he going to become as skilled as me with time? Absolutely yes. So now, for me, that was a problem because I was seeing something that I could improve at, something I could do better myself, and letting it go, giving it to someone else was very difficult, because then I was seeing all this money that could be potentially made that was getting lost during the learning process of the person that I hired, and that was making my heart cry. But then at the end of the day, if that was something that I wanted to outsource, I need someone that comes in to be able to fail to learn. I didn't learn to sell and be that great in days, not even in months. It took me years. So letting go, it was very difficult. And every time the person was losing sales, it made my heart cry. But I knew that it was part of the process. I knew that that was something that he needed to do, to go through in order to become great. And then we used every single opportunity as a coaching experience and a mentoring experience so it could become better. And then he had incredible months. So this is something that you also want to be aware of in terms of outsourcing. When you're outsourcing your sales, make sure that it's someone that can sell. And if it's someone that is not coming from a sales background experience, remember, they need to have a time to adjust to the way you want them to sell, to the product, to the service, to the client, to the language. So there is this huge learning curve, and that's why you want to have them for a period of time before you make a judgment. But of course, you can judge their work ethic from the get-go, because work ethic is not something that changes. Results can change, results can vary, results can get there. But the work ethic of someone, if he's coming late, if he's coming on time, if he's really caring about the clients, if he cares about the conversation that he has with people or not, that's something that you can see immediately. And then skills can always be learned. So this is something that I wanted to share, because that's the process we are going through right now. We are massively growing and scaling the company, getting ready for the 7 figures, so then we can have we are putting all the infrastructures in place, and it's an exciting journey. It's an incredibly exciting journey that I'm documenting with you. I want to share with you, so then you can, if you are at the same stage of business, or if you are, then you can take inspiration from. If you are a bit behind down the line and you're still haven't made your first 6 figures yet, there's something that can look forward to. And if you're already far ahead and you're already making 7, 8, 9 figures, well done on you. Then also you can look back and see, what can I do better? Because I think that sometimes we forget the things that are really working just to do some more fancier stuff. And something that, for example, can work to get people to see, something that we did incredibly well was selling one-to-one. And I stopped selling one-to-one for a quite long period of time, and I stopped booking consultation. And then I was saying, but that works so well, why I'm not doing more of that? Now we have a better process right now, a higher qualification process for the people that we told to, because I cannot spend time one-to-one with everyone for a consultation. But if they qualify and they pass the pre-qualification process, absolutely. So that's something that is the same process which has evolved for the stage of business we are in, but it's something that was working incredibly well before. And then we stopped doing to do the more fancier stuff. And that's something that is a reminder of, what am I not doing right now? And something that I released a quick video on this as well recently after our quarterly meeting, after our monthly meeting with our team. And there are 4 questions that we ask ourselves. What did we do really good? What did we do really bad? What are we doing that we can stop doing? And what are we doing that we have to do more of? And by asking ourselves these 4 questions, it gives us a full overview of the company and what are the things that we can focus on for the next quarter and for the next month. Guys, time's up. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode about scalability. It was inspired by a conversation with the one and the only Super Joe Pardo with episode 105. This is episode 106. And if you haven't listened to episode 105 of the podcast, make sure that you check it out and listen to episode 105. And then also, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, like our Facebook page. Come on. Go Facebook, Simone Vincenzi. Give me a like. Share this Facebook Live if you're live right now. Yeah, come on. Then if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, make sure that you subscribe right now. These are the two things that you can do for me. I have a huge focus on growing this podcast, and we are planning having amazing guests for you. I'm putting all my heart and soul. Soon we are going to move to 3 episodes a week. That's a project that I'm focusing my heart and soul on. So you cannot imagine how much it means to me if you can leave a review on iTunes and subscribe to the show. That's how you help us grow. That's how you show iTunes that you like it. And then iTunes shows it to other people. That's how it works. So please give me this favor if you like what we share, if you're a fan of this show. And then also, if you're ready to scale your business past 6 figures, you want to learn how to create incredible presentation, selling one-to-one, selling one-to-many, create events that sell, and be seen as an authority in your field, then get in touch. Let me know. My email is simone@gtex.org.uk. There is also a booking form here in the show notes. And then let's book a consultation. Let's have a chat. How we can help you scaling past the 6 figures. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic, fantastic day, evening, night, no matter what you're watching or listening to right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next incredible episode of Explode Your Expert Biz Show. From Simone Vincenzi is everything. And remember, together we grow exponentially. Ciao.